Hello everyone. Welcome again to the Daydreamer podcast. This is your host Kasia speaking. We are discussing here everything spirituality, good things, bad things, difficult subjects. I also add some psychology behind it all, and we focus also on relationships, whatever spirituality, psychology. Maybe you have some subjects that you would like me to discuss, then comment or send a message on the podcasting. You have a possibility to send a text. On YouTube you can comment. So let me know, are there any subjects that you are specifically interested in that you would like me to discuss? Spirituality, psychology, mixed of two. There is no taboo here. We discuss everything. All right. So how are you? Today is 20th of January. I had to have a quick look just to make sure I remember what the date is today. So January is coming to an end slowly. We are, just a reminder, I say it practically on every episode, we are still in the year of the snake. The horse is coming end of February. But like I said before, it does not mean that everything is still fully energy of the snake. It's blended energy, so you can see still things falling off from your life that are not good for you, and you can start seeing some new beginnings. So I must say, I was talking about wintering last time, and for me the wintering is still going on, and I kind of feel like when will I find energy to finally be like I was in autumn even. Like, I would love to go back to running. I just can't. I started doing an exercise challenge where I exercise practically every day. And what happened? I got cold. I mean, my husband brought cold home, and now I have it. So I have to put on pause the exercise plans I had, which is not great because I'm trying to lose weight, like I also said before, which is also, it's just not happening. I'm starting to think, will it happen when the spring is close? It just feels so much nicer to wake up when there's sun outside, and just I used to get up 7 a.m. every day. Now I get up 8. I mean, to be honest, I'm awake before 8, but I just cannot get myself to start the day because I just feel like it's still cold. Even though today it's a beautiful, really beautiful, sunny, warm day in Kent in the UK. So I don't know where you are in the world, because I know that people from all around the world are listening. Yeah, so we have a beautiful day, and this is one of the days I could go for a run, but I can't because I'm not well. And I decided that I would just do some treadmill walking. It's good to let your body rest. It's good to have some insight into, is it me being lazy, or is it really my body needing some rest? Once you figure this out, then you really, you will be able to manage, should you go or and push yourself, or should you just stay and rest. I even, I miss this kind of information, this kind of message from time to time. I may think I'm too lazy to go, and then I push myself, and then I feel horrible, and I'm like, okay, that was not me being lazy. That was still a message from my body that I'm not feeling 100%, and I should take it easy. So yeah, wintering, we're still wintering. I cannot wait to start springing, I must say, but it is how it is. This is also a time we don't want our life to pass too fast, so we need to enjoy whatever time we have. in the year. But I must say that what I'm manifesting is January to be somewhere else than the UK. Can be Canary Islands, can be I don't know, Cyprus, maybe south of Italy, maybe some Greek islands that are more warm. Just somewhere where it's just less depressing. Because January, I think, is the most depressing month of the year. There was also yesterday. That was a Blue Monday. So did it affect you? To be honest, other than feeling unwell, I was fine. I'm still manifesting some things to happen, but I enjoy my life. So I didn't have this, blue moon energy. If I had to go back to my corporate work, I would, because I would hate my life that I'm doing something that I just hate. But I'm not, which makes me a much happier person. All right. So what I wanted to discuss today is healing is like an onion. I don't know where you are on your healing journey. Have you just started, or are you somewhere in the middle? Have you been doing it for years? You may see that you just strip one layer after another. You may think that you're practically there and there are some new things coming, or the same things coming to bother you in some different way. So healing probably does not finish ever. Ever. It's like a constant process. It's good to change over the course of your life. It's good to become better and better versions of yourself, but without obsession, right? I want to. I say it from time to time. I just don't want people to get obsessed about being perfect. I will talk about it in a bit. It's also very important to not put any specific timelines and pressures or getting frustrated with yourself. Just let the process flow. You just need to uncover it episode after episode, or sorry, the episode maybe sounds a bit weird, one phase after another phase. And what also makes me think that the healing is like an onion, because it may make you cry. Yes. So you may already know that healing can be challenging, can be very challenging, can be like making you face things you do not want to face, right? Things that you might have buried so deep inside because they're just hurtful. And unfortunately, to move forward in your healing, you have to dig it up. So I just want to say that today I want to discuss about healing, different layers of healing, what is in these layers. But it's not an episode like how to heal yourself. No. It's more about the process of healing. And of course, from the how do you heal yourself, is, just you can be more and more insightful, intuitive every day with yourself, observe yourself. It does require a lot, though, of awareness of your own emotions to do this on your own. You can mix it up. You can go to the psychotherapists, hypnotherapists, counselors, energy healers, whatever modality works for you. This is it will help you, right? Whatever resonates with you. And like as always, I do invite people who would like to have the healing journey with me. You can find links to my website, to the booking page, and I would be more than happy to help you. But you don't have to. You have to choose something and someone that works for you. Resonate this part when people resonate with you, your healer. I'm saying healer. I don't know if psychotherapists would like to be called a healer or counselor, but it is some type of a healer. Yeah, it's so important. You don't even know how relationship is important the healing in the healing relationship, right? In the between you and your some kind of therapist. Sometimes it's one of the most important things what's going on. It's supposed to be a safe space where you can open your heart and you're not judged. You feel safe to say everything that bothers you. You don't have to worry about offending this other person. You shouldn't. You shouldn't worry. It's also for therapists. It can be even a valuable message what's going on with you and the world, when they feel in some way that they're reacting to you. That's something it's not probably for this podcast how the psychotherapy works, but yeah, it's good to know that the therapists, and it's like I talk about psychotherapy here because I do combine modalities. I'm still psychotherapist in training. I did hypnotherapy diploma. I have I've done it quite a while ago. I need to send one more thing to them to just get it, in get the paper, right? But I finished the school last year somewhere. I don't know. The time flies. However, I do mix modalities like talking and hypnotherapy and energy healing. So for me, these conversations, relationships, whatever is going on between us in the session, it's also very important. All right, so you will have healers that work differently. I work in these type of modalities, so that's what's important to me. So so another important thing is about steps forward, step backwards, or sometimes your perceived steps backward. So healing is like an onion, but it's also like a spiral. You might have seen it in the spirituality. This like spiral going to the top, and then the top is like a perfection, right? Ascension. No, doesn't matter, right? You do not need to get there. But sometimes you think you got, you went backwards, but in reality, you are higher, right? It might be the same situation, but maybe you're reacting different. Maybe it's challenging different parts of yourself. Okay, it's a different conversation if you actually haven't worked something through and it continues to show up, so you finally act on it, right? That's a different conversation because that will actually mean that you have to sort it out because it will be recurring. Again, it can be relationship issue. You continuously attract the same men. You attract the same men, women, partner, like whoever you want to attract, or friendships. You keep on having, fake friends, backstabbing friends, people disappointing you. I would say the relationship with your parents is a much more complicated one. It's like if you can change friends, it's difficult to change parents. You can change your parents, and sometimes they don't change. Like internally, they just don't, because maybe there's a generation that just doesn't do work on themselves, to not go deeper, just live on the surface, and that's a tough one, right? It's, of course, you can go drastically and just remove yourself from that family, if they are really toxic, right? Or you have to accept that they want to change and maybe love them more from the distance and limit how much time you spend with them, how much time you talk with them, or work through the things that are triggering you in them to the level where you just don't react. You just almost like, this is how they are, this is what they say, and it comes in one ear and just leaves another through the other, and this is what you do. Of course, some people may say this is not good because you need to voice if they're hurting you in some way. Yeah, but that's the thing. They may never change. So that's a more complicated relationship. What do you want with it? I personally, unless there's something really extreme, like extreme abuse, I am not for leaving your family behind. Your parents can be your sibling, any other person that you are close in a family, because there's some uncles, aunts, grandparents that are just further out and they're super toxic. Okay, that's easier to cut out, but what about the closest ones? So I'm not for it. But this is subjective for me. I know that because I'm close with my family, even though they're not perfect, and there are things I cannot change about them. I have to accept they will annoy me from time to time, or I'm mentally, before meeting them, I'm just mentally prepared for certain things to happen. But for me, the benefit of having them is much bigger than not having them. So that's a personal thing that everybody have to just assess for themselves. Yeah, so that's part. Going back to the spiral. Yeah, so sometimes you think you're going back, but you're actually higher, and like I said, you may observe reacting differently to the same situation, like different parts opening. You may actually be repeating something because you haven't yet healed it, you haven't worked on it. So it will be like almost like banging on the door, like, can you hear me? I'm here for the 5th time, right? And will you ever address me? Like, if that's the case, so what's going on? You're not addressing it because you don't know how, or you actually know what's going on, but addressing is too difficult. And that are the points, the moments when you probably need, to be honest, both of these. Either with something is too difficult, or when you don't know why is it happening, it's worth getting in touch with some healer so you can get objective perspective on that, right? Because sometimes, not even sometimes, it's very difficult for us to always know 100%, even for people that have incredible insight or been years through some different healing modalities. Sometimes you get confused. What parts of me are screaming now? What parts of me wanting some attention? Is it me or is it outside world? I'm one of these weird people that I do like therapy, and to be honest, I just like to have conversation with someone who would just help me put my thoughts in objectivity. It's really, really healthy. Of course, not everybody can afford having someone for the rest of their lives every week, but maybe worth even from time to time have some consultation, but after some healing journey that you've done. I also do, it's not that I do only therapy, like a talking therapy for myself. I do also energy healing. I do it mostly on myself, but I also go to some healers. It's always so nice to feel like someone finally is taking care of you. You're not taking care of everybody else. All right, so that's the spiral. So we have an onion, we have a spiral, but now something I mentioned with the spiral. So let's talk about perfection. I am perfectionist in healing. I let go of a lot of that already. There is layer after, for me, there's a lot of layers to this onion. It's quite a big chunky onion, and it starts in having two ambitious, emotionally unavailable parents, for example, right? That's my story. Everybody has their own, but you would be surprised how many of us have actually similar stories. They may sound different, but when you think about it, they may actually be similar. Um, so let go of perfection. You shouldn't have a target of wanting to heal everything. Like I said, I prefer to continue getting better and better. It's something I enjoy, just healing parts of myself, which might sound crazy to some people because you have to face things that you may not want to face. But I do. My fascination with psychology and spirituality makes me that my mind fascinates me also. Not only minds of other people, I'm fascinated with all the minds. So that's for me. But in reality, your healing can end when you feel happy, right, about your life. And then, what is a very important thing, you need to just be aware of the things that are not worked through. Because when you're aware of them, you can somehow manage them and control them. And that's enough. If you don't want to, you don't have to spend years and years and years between different healers. Get to the point when your life is the life you want, is a happy life. But also, to fellow perfectionists, overly ambitious, maybe it's worth reevaluating what will make you happy, right? Because sometimes ambition or the big positions you're going for, like enormous amount of money or whatever you're hoping for, might be like a fool's gold, right? It's just a never-ending pursuit of this that makes you constantly miserable. So if that's the case, that needs to be reevaluated. Also, you may actually find that once you finally let go of obsessing over something, it will come to you, but that's the manifestation part. So I said it like when I made notes for what I want to talk about in the podcast. I put this as 80% healing, 20% not healed, but being aware of it. It's just a made-up number, but that should maybe show you a bit what I mean. Don't need to get fully to 100%. Don't need to be to this, oh my gosh, ascension, living in heaven while being on earth. It's not, I wouldn't even say it's healthy, because we are here on the most material of the planes, earth, because we wanted to live a material life. So it's amazing, all this waking up of the souls or the spirituality that we're trying to introduce to this material plane. But this is earth. It will never stop being material. It will never stop giving you reality checks if you start floating too much to the sky. So just remember that. Okay, so another thing is shadow work. What is our shadow? Shadow is this neglected part of ourselves that stays in the shadow, that controls us unless we confront it. So you might have heard about the shadow many times. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it. Maybe you heard about it many times. So I think the big misconception here, You may think that your shadow is your anger, your what else can it be? Your anger, your um, jealousy, things that are quite obvious. It might be. For sure, if you have anger issues, jealousy issues, fine, it's something to work on. But your actual shadow might be something completely different. It might be being afraid to be vulnerable, being afraid to be hurt, being ashamed of crying. It's much easier to say, oh, I need to work on getting angry. Unless you're very extremely angry and you are, bully, harassing, physically abusing, that's a different thing that you want, then you will not want to say that. You will not. You will be pretending you're an amazing person. But for many of us, actually, this sensitivity, this being, it like, think it's okay to be vulnerable. So many of us think it's a weakness, and that might be actually something for you to look at and work on. That might be one of the most powerful things to look at in your life, because we do have these tendencies, especially people interested in spirituality. There's so much sensitivity in us, there is so much empathy, there is so much emotional intensity that it's one of those things that you just want to hide everything, like in a shield, like in a turtle's shell. You just don't want anybody to see that. But that's one thing. But if on top of that you're actually ashamed of that, that's something to really look at. And something also I wanted to discuss for you, it's relationships as mirrors. All right, so it's a very good, and I started saying it in the beginning about how therapists will be assessing the relationship they have with you to see how the world might be reacting to you. I'm giving you a bit of the background, what was going on at the therapy when you think that your therapist is just sitting there and not doing anything, get paid, right? So you can use it also, but slightly different. Look at your relationships in your life and really observe them and really examine them. That might give you a lot of information about yourself. What triggers you negatively? Whom do you idolize? This will be very important information. It's things that trigger you in other people may end up being something that you don't like about yourself. Like with the example of being embarrassed or being vulnerable. You may be really annoyed when someone cries for no reason, no apparent reason in your opinion, right? Because they are emotional. Maybe something you're not accepting in yourself. If you're idolizing something, maybe something you crave, but idolizing can have also, look at it also in deeper, because it's never good to put anybody on the podium, to idealize them. Nobody is perfect, right? We're all human, even if some of us are not, and that's only very spiritual. I will know what I'm talking about. Also, what do you judge, right? Judgment can be also another type of negative trigger, something that you may not accept for yourself. Or you might see someone doing, like, I don't know, girl showing off her body as an example. You will hate on that, but maybe internally you would love to have this confidence to do that. Or maybe you are jealous of how she looks like. There's really a lot that you can read through these thoughts, through these relationships around your friends, your family, also how you see the world around you. But just another comment about not obsessing about it. So don't go crazy about it. Not everything will be a message. How Freud was saying, cigar is sometimes only a cigar, and just the important here is actually to go through some kind of healing journey, so you can be aware of your sensitive points, of your weak points. It will give you so much more ease to be insightful, because if you do not know what's going on underneath your behaviors, underneath your emotions and your subconscious, then it's all leading your life. You're making decisions, you're making choices that you think are your own decision and choices, but they might be very much coming from completely different place. And if the choices you're making because you were raised in an amazing home and you were taught so many amazing things that you just automatically choose the most amazing person for yourself, that's fine. The problem shows when you were raised in a very difficult home and you keep on choosing very difficult partners, or you end up with a heartache all the time, cheated on, betrayed, or even worse things, right? That's the part when it would be good to examine everything, to go through a healing journey. And just remember, it goes layer after layer. Sometimes you need to go through a lot of layers to get to the bottom of some stuff. Some things need to be healed before the others. Also remember, we are in a spiral, so not everything is going backwards. At the same time, if there is something that keeps on popping up, you don't address it, it will be banging and banging louder on the door until the universe may decide to do something more extreme about it. And you don't want that. I do sort your problem, but it can be in a dramatic way. So that's it. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it was helpful for you. And if you do enjoy my podcast, please comment, review, subscribe, like, wherever either if you're watching or listening. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon.